Joining me right now, our good friend who is back up in Jersey for the next few months, great sportscaster who also lives down here in Sarasota. Don Henderson joining us by telephone today. How are you, Don?
Hey, I'll tell you, Doug, what a great day we have here. It's about, I guess about 73, 74, and no humidity, just a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday could not have been better.
You picked a good time to go back up.
Got a little humidity there?
It's starting to get that way again, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get past the 15th of the month. That's usually pretty much the break-off point, and then it starts to pick up day by day.
I want to talk a little bit, Don. We just a little bit before we went on the air and doing a tribute to Lena Horne today, and you had mentioned that you saw that Broadway show she did back in New York in the early 80s, didn't you?
Yeah, at the Winterlander Theater. In fact, remember, you probably do, there was a lot of publicity in Sarasota a little over a year ago. Winterlander was going to build. You know, they were going to have that the Astoria built down there on 41 in the Winterlander Theater. People were going to put a theater in there. It all sort of fell through, and I don't think there's any possibility it's going to happen now. But Winterlander, of course, has been a very noted theater owner in New York for years and years and years, the whole family. And she opened up her one-woman show, and it was so successful. Just doing this off the top of my head, as I said to you, Doug, as I remember, it was about a year. The show went about a year, and it was tremendously successful. And then she decided to take it on tour all across the country, and she did that. And again, it was very successful. It was funny because she always talked about how she did not like to perform, and yet at the mid-60s, I guess she was at that time, she did a fantastic show with such energy, high energy, and the show was really great. And she got a lot of success out of it. I guess that was really her last major. I know she made a couple of movies and a couple little things after that, but I think that was her last major contribution. I
remember getting the record album. It wasn't CDs back then, and in the college radio station I was at Adelphi, and we got the chance to play that on a show like this I did up there, and it was a live performance album, of course, and she really had a style that was like nobody else, didn't she, Don?
Yeah, she really did, and she had quite an unusual life. Very, very controversial, as you well know, all during the late 40s and 50s, and she was really the first real breakthrough artist, and then, just unhappy with the roles that they were trying to put her into, and she was also, I guess, probably the first crossover sex symbol in the movies, and she wanted to make that movie, where she crosses over and plays a white woman.
Showboat.
Title of the movie. But
Showboat.
No, it wasn't Showboat. There was another one where, and she wanted to. She also, you're right. She also wanted to be.
Because she wanted the Ava Gardner part.
Yeah, Ava Gardner got the part and couldn't even sing.
Right. Yeah.
But that became a major at that particular point. That became a major point of controversy, and people can't realize today. A lot of the younger folks that are listening, that people like Paul Robeson and Lena Horne and all, if they performed at the Waldorf or if they performed at any of these places, they had to go up the service elevator. They didn't even go up the main elevator. And it was just a totally different era and time in this country, and she was right in the middle, and as was Paul Robeson.
I know a lot of the movies that she did back then in the 40s, they would construct it where they would take out a lot of her scenes. Back then they were taking out for the southern theaters, states like Alabama, Arkansas, and they wouldn't let black performers be shown.
And what they did was, and that was one of the things that she objected to so strongly, most of the acting that she did in the movie was confined to doing songs, so that they could extract the song from the movie and not really change any of the plot lines. And you're exactly right. That's what they did. They gave her featured roles where she would sing, and would travel to the West Coast and Mid-America, and of course the East Coast. But when they went to the South, they just took those songs out of the movie, and nobody even realized that she was in it.
Hard to believe, and that wasn't that long ago. But they didn't do that.
It's not.
Yeah. But a great style she had. I mean, just the way she performed. I guess sultry would be a good word to describe her, right, Don?
I would say you're right on target. And most of the people that now that she's passed away at 92 years of age, are seeing some of the highlights. Of course, Stormy Weather was really the one that really featured her more than any other. That was sort of her theme song.
Right.
And so most of the clips that you see on the news today go in that direction. I mean, there are many, many other songs, as you pointed out, and from the live show she had as well. But Stormy Weather seemed to be the one that followed her wherever she went, and that was really her main song.
Talk a little bit about another man. We mentioned it when you were here a couple of weeks ago, John, when we had Phil Mushnick on. Ernie Harwell passed away a few days after that. No surprise, but he was also a 92, the great broadcaster, baseball announcer for the Tigers for many years. I know you knew Ernie pretty well, right?
Yeah, we got to know each other probably more down in the Florida area because he lived in Dunedin for a long period of time. Of course, broadcast for the Detroit Tigers, but lived in Dunedin. And so you'd see him at the ballpark there, quite often. Anytime that the spring training was going on, or really before spring training, he'd come down right after Christmas, or even sometimes before. And Clearwater at that time, when we were working over there with the Phillies, as only most people know, about stone's throw away. I don't even think it's 3 miles between Clearwater and Sarasota and Dunedin.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we've got to know him really well and had him on the air many number of times, and just a terrific, terrific guy. And
also a music lover. He wrote many songs from what I understand, too, didn't he?
Oh, he was an author. He was you're right, composer, broadcaster, poet. He did a little bit of it. He was very eclectic. He had a little bit of everything.
And I know they did what they had with Harry Callis last year, have the Lying in State, and I think it was in Tiger State, or whatever they call Tiger Stadium now, and a nice crowd came out like they do with Harry.
Comerica Park.
Comerica Park, yeah.
Yeah, and they did a tribute to him. The Yankees were in the first night, and they, of course, had a statue out front. As they do. Well, in Philly they don't have a statue of Harry as yet, but I'm sure they'll have one.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got Mike Schmidt and a few others there, but right in front of Comerica Park, they do have a statue of him, and it's really a very, very moving tribute.
Kind of sad when you think all those great baseball voices are dwindling down now. I mean, of that era, Vince Scully about the only one left from those years, right?
Yeah, you're right. A Fordham graduate right in New York City, and went on to be, I guess, really the premier baseball broadcaster of all time. He came up with the greats, Mel Allen and Red Barber and all Russ Hodges and all the great broadcasters, and he's outlived them all. I mean, he's still doing Dodger games, and if I remember correctly, he started about maybe 1950, 51.
I think that was it. Yeah, right out of college. Yeah,
right out of college, right out of Fordham University, and he's still, as you listen to him today, for people that have XM radio, they can still hear the Dodger games in the Northeast. He's as good today as he was, 50 years ago.
And speaking of Scully, they gave Ernie Harwell posthumously the Vince Scully Award at Fordham, I saw last week. I think Al Kaline accepted it for Ernie Harwell. So they still give out a broadcast award at Fordham every year.
Well, they were great friends, They were co-workers, but they were also great, great friends. And when they went to, in fact, the day that he passed away, they went to Al Kaline, and he did a number of interviews that were seen on ESPN and most of the news stations, and they were very, very close. Al Kaline, for those folks that aren't familiar with the young Detroit Tiger, he came right out of high school and signed a contract and went right to the major leagues. He never spent any time in the minor leagues, and he was just a great player for the Tigers. And then when his baseball career was over, like Phil Rizzuto and so many of them, Richie Ashburn and Philly, he stepped into the booth and did a lot of work with Ernie. So they were very, very close, and it was Al Kaline that really, gave the tribute to Ernie.